Hey, now I'm a person that loves humor. And this week I've done some light and friendly and all this stuff, but I'm a person that loves humor and I love to laugh. And I got a lot of jokes and stuff. So, yesterday was a very interesting day. On Tuesdays, I teach class and then I go and I see about my mom. She just retired and she's living in a retirement place. And I go and I see about her, take her around and stuff, and we do stuff together. My mom and I are very close. We're best friends almost and stuff. And so and I find my mom to be hilariously funny, okay, and stuff. And she's 66 and she's got one bad knee. She's got a knee that's been replaced and still got one bad knee. She's still got one surgery to go and stuff. So usually she's using a cane walking around and everything. And my mom's a wonderful, wonderful, loving person and stuff. And we get along really, really well and everything. So I go and I see about her yesterday. And she tells me this really hilarious story about McDonald's and the filet-o-fish sandwich she was going to do. I was talking about. And I'll tell you the story I have about the McDonald's thing. So and I was telling her about, some story that I had about McDonald's too. And so she started telling me her story. And I'll tell you my story first. So I don't like to grocery shop and not eat. I don't like to go hungry into any grocery store or place with food, selling food. I will buy up everything and stuff. And it's really dangerous. I'm also a type 1 diabetic, so I was having low blood sugar. I hadn't eaten lunch and I was having low blood sugar. And I was going into the Walmart and I was like, I gotta eat something before I get in these aisles and start picking up every bad thing ever to eat, especially with low blood sugar. I might have just flipped out or something. So I go into Walmart and I'm stepping up to the counter and they have a McDonald's in the Walmart that I go to. And so I go in, I'm stepping up to the counter, and I say, well, can I get the filet-o-fish meal? Because that's the only thing I usually eat at McDonald's. I don't regularly eat at McDonald's, but hey, the McDonald's is there, and I was hungry. So they ring it up, and then she goes, $6.78, and I'm just like, what? And I was just like, okay, $6.78 for a square piece of fish? Really? $7 for a square piece of fish? And so I was just like, okay, I was just a little bit outdone, And I give her the money, and she gives me the change back. I'm like, a square piece of fish. I could have went to, and there's this place called Ivar's here that's a seafood, little like seafood fast food place, but they got really, really good seafood. I'm like, I could have went to Ivar's and got a piece of actual grilled coho salmon for $7. Okay, and coming over here to McDonald's. So I was just too outdone. So I'm telling her this story. She's like, oh my goodness. She said, yeah. She said, I'm going to McDonald's. She said, and she gets the filet-o-fish too, but she gets 2 fish squares on hers and stuff. So, and she said, yeah, not like, with 2 fish squares and all this stuff. And so she hands the gentleman money, a $5 bill. And he says, well, do you have 14 cents? And she says, oh, yeah, okay. So she digs out 14 cents. She gives it to him. And then he hands her a receipt and he says, thank you. And she goes, is there something else? Is there something else? And he goes, no. And she's like, that was $5.14. And he was like, yes, ma'am, that was $5.14. And so I was like, she said she was so shocked. She said she thought she was going to get at least $1 back. And so, and I just start laughing. And I'm like, yeah. I said, he was probably looking at you like, girl, please. Girl, please, you need to go on with that. You need to go on with that. You're not getting any money back. You need to go. She said, I just couldn't believe it. I said, yeah, I go, and it's $7 for a filet-o-fish. And I'm thinking, what is it to get like a Big Mac meal or like a double quarter pound? Like, what is like $10 now? And I'm just thinking, okay, McDonald's is ridiculous. I'm like, this is the most ridiculous place I've ever been in my life. That she's telling the story about her shock and surprise that she didn't get at least $1 back in change from the McDonald's for her double filet-o-fish meal. I'm just laughing at how high this place is and stuff, and how their prices are just totally outrageous. And so I'm just laughing, and I was just like, yeah. I said, well, you can't go in there anymore. I like, cause yeah, I'm sure they're thinking, yeah, no, you're not gonna get any change. No, you're not gonna get any change back, okay? And I was just like, no. I'm like, yeah. So he's like, yeah, you need to maybe push on. So I was just laughing. I laughed so hard. And we were just, I mean, I was just dying laughing. I thought it was the funniest story I'd ever heard and stuff. And the way she told it was just absolutely hilarious. It was kind of an adventurous day because earlier in the day, I'd had some issues with my new iPhone. And I got a new iPhone. And they have that Starbucks app on there that you can put money on and pay with your phone. When I got the phone last Friday, I set up the account and I put money on there. And yesterday I was like at the Starbucks before I stepped into work to get myself some coffee. And so I step in there and I take the phone out and I push the app and it's got sign in. It's like sign in, and I'm like, sign in? What? Am I supposed to be signing in? And so I'm standing in line and I'm just like, is there? And so I click on it and there's a username and a password, and I'm like, oh my God, did I set up a username and a password? I couldn't remember, and so I couldn't remember what it was, so I couldn't use it, and I was like, oh well, this is great. This is really useful. I've got money on here, but I've got to take money out of my actual account to pay for my Starbucks. So I use my debit card and I pay for my Starbucks while this thing has. I'm like, oh man, this sucks. And I was like, great, with all these different passwords and account names, and I've got a million of them. And I was just thinking to myself, I have to put these somewhere so I can remember all this stuff. I could not remember. So when I got to work, I looked at the phone and finally went through my email and found all the information. And I was like, oh yeah, I did set something up, but I couldn't remember. I was just like, did I set something up? Did I not set something up? I just could not remember, and she was like, well, you use it like this. I said, no, I can't, I don't remember the username and the password. She's like, oh, well, ma'am, I can't help you with that. And I'm just thinking, yeah, duh, I know that, okay. I know that. Thanks, Captain Obvious, okay. But it was frustrating because I've got this money here. I put on here to specifically use, and now I have to use other money. But this money is still here and stuff, that I can't use on something else. I can only use at Starbucks. And so I was just really upset early in the morning. And I was just like, oh, well, whatever. I was just like, I'm not going to let that. But the story she told me later that day about the filet-o-fish just had me just cracking up. I was rolling. It was the funniest story ever. My mom is hilariously funny. It was hilarious. 'Cause I could just see her standing there with her little cane and stuff, giving the guy the 14 cents, and he hands her back a receipt, and she's like, yeah. So I'm waiting for her extra dollar, and it's just like, no, that's never going to come and stuff. So, I was just, I put this on and I wanted to do a blog about it. Just, sometimes to just, I don't know, tell you guys that, I do have a life outside this blog, and I do stuff outside this blog, and I have fun, and I have family, and I have people that I love and that love me and stuff, and I'm just a regular person. Sometimes with regular frustrations and laughter and and all that sort of stuff. I'm just a regular person. There's nothing special about, there's nothing particularly special about me and stuff but that I try my best to find where I can a little humor and not get too upset, and stuff. Low blood sugar sometimes will have me on the edge, but not get too upset about the stuff that goes on. So I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you all have great holidays. Don't get stomped on Black Friday, please, and stuff. I will not be there. I don't participate in that sort of stuff. But if you're there, sitting out, waiting for whatever it is you're waiting for, I hope you get it. So you all have a nice holiday, and I will probably see you sometime next week. Bye-bye.